Hello and welcome to some recommendations for Monster Hunt. Uh, in request of a subscriber, I presume, and specifically this time about the Amethyst Fire Elemental. This Fire Elemental, as we can see, has actually the buff of that when the boss receives a debuff, you have a 60% chance for a random character to gain a random buff. This strategy is basically be debuffing the enemy as much as you can to reduce the special shield that the boss has and increases his damage. As you can see, I already have triple S of my score. I have a very high score, a nice place in the ranking, and I already have the the rewards. All because I already recorded the combat, and I have three teams or semi recommendations that you can use to get the triple S very easy. I'm gonna go from the simple one, and then I'm gonna go and make my way to the one I used and the one that you're gonna see in the combat of this video. The simple one to use is with normal albedo, this version. Then with this tank, the Valkyrie Shelter is how this tank is known. Those are gonna be your main damage dealer, your main tank. Then your third character that I could recommend is either or this Momon, the normal, the classical one, or if you don't have him, then Entoma, this version of her, the SR. And as your fourth one, because remember it's either Momon or Entoma, what I'm saying. And then as your fourth one, any support or healer that you have. Could be Pandora's Actor, could be Pestonia, it could be Anniversary Albedo, whoever you want. Or if you want to run without a healer, then Entoma and Momon side to side. This boss gets defeated pretty easily if you constantly debuff and actually hurt the enemy. Like there is a little arrow that you use to point where enemy your characters are going to focus on. If you focus on the boss more than his minions, you kind of nullify half the damage that the character is going to do. So what is going to happen is that regardless of the order of their characters, depending on the speed you have, you're going to use this version of Albedo to put damage aggravation on the enemy, so the enemy takes 30% more damage. Then you use Shaltiar to use a second skill, so you put defense down on the enemy, and the enemy has 30% less defense, in this case it's the boss, and you throw back the turn meter of the enemy. Then you're going to use either Momon or Entoma. If you use Momon, use the second skill, so he starts doing chases, and with Entoma, boost herself with the ultimate, and then throw the first skill at her, so at the boss with her, so she puts a lot of blitz stacks on the enemy. Keep your healer just in case you need, to heal someone in emergencies and so. When you don't need a heal, just make your healers do a basic attack. So what's gonna happen is that Entoma is gonna put one debuff, at least one is gonna be bleed. If she has Desolation set like mine, she's gonna be able to put even 3 debuff at the same time. As you can see here, she's gonna be able to put bleed, shock, and burn. So she can put between 1 to 3 debuffs on the enemy. Momon is not gonna be able to put debuffs, but he is there to make chases and having constant damage on the enemy. Valkyrie Shelter is to absorb damage that your characters are gonna take and lower the enemy defense, putting another debuff. And when she ults and use her first attack or the basic attack, your characters are gonna be able to heal a little bit, so they don't get deleted. And your albedo is gonna put damage aggravation, that is a debuff, and it's gonna put with the ultimate and the basic attack burn, that's another debuff. And if she is 6 stars, she's also gonna be able to put healing reduction, that is another debuff. So you're constantly debuffing the enemy. That means that you're constantly exploiting this strategy and obtaining constant buffs on your team. That it's gonna get you at least 20k points. If you don't like that team, It's like an easy to get one. You could use any bleed team that you have, like the SSR, Entoma, Lupus Regina, Jaldabaoth, the normal Kokiotos or so, because they're gonna be putting bleed all the time. And each time they inflict bleed, even if it's one stack or two stacks, it counts as a new debuff, so your characters are gaining more buffs. So whatever bleed team you have, you can put it there. I don't know how many points you can have with the bleed team, because if you don't have a good healer, this boss when it explodes, it's gonna take down your entire team. And then the third team, or the best one in my case, the one that I use to get more than 16k points, is this one. I'm using the Robohamuski, the Tanksisita, the SSR Entoma, and the Halloween Momon with Shizu Captain skill. My equipment in this case is this one. Everyone has his own arc light. Shizu with the Red Dragon set, Momo with Termination, Entoma with Termination set, and Hamuski with Sterling set. I'm using as my supreme being the normal one, normal lines. I'm using the negative burst to throw back the enemy, put damage aggravation and so. Perfect preparation, so after the first attack, he can start with this. Then I can be very willful, so I'm doing 24% more damage to enemy warriors and rangers, in this case the boss. And I'm using deterioration. Uh, each time Ains deals damage to an enemy, each debuff on the target increases the attack a certain amount. And because this team is gonna put a lot of debuffs, in general the strategy is put a lot of debuffs, you're gonna be able to exploit that. But I have an alternative. If you don't want to use Ains, you can go with the Lord of Time and use this, the Reality Slash, because it's gonna put wounds, mainly wounds, that is one debuff, and each time the enemy receives damage over time or gets damaged by chase, assist, or counter, it receives even more damage. So Reality Slash could be the first one there. Then you could use this one, the Night Killer, so you do more damage to Knights and Priests. It's not really useful here, not that much, but at least you can make use of it. Then the Battle Frenzy is very useful here because your team is gonna be constantly gaining buffs, and this is gonna be giving Ains action points each time they get a buff, and they're gonna get it constantly. So your Ains is gonna be playing a lot here. So this one is also another one that you can use literally a ton. Then let me see, what were the others? This one, because I'm using SSR Entoma and Halloween Momon. Both are rangers, and the magic amplification increases everyone crit by 20% and critical damage 20% on my ranger characters, on all my rangers. So Momon and Entoma are getting this benefit. In my case, they already are on 90% crit or so, but the extra critical damage is very useful. So this one is also another one that you could kind of use there. And honestly, here just put the last one anything that you have, because not even one of these is gonna help you against the boss. Not really. But you could try if you want to use the Lord of Time instead of the normal lines. How this team works? Well, it's very easy. Here, my team starts with Shizu. She's the fastest one on my team. She's gonna throw the ultimate. It's gonna put double debuff, the target lock, and the target coordination or something like that. That's two debuffs on the enemy. That means I have double the chances to have two buffs on my team. After her, then it's Momon turn. I always make him go with the first skill, the Dark Flame Charge first, so he gains the Soul Walker for 2 rounds, increasing the crit by 30% and the assist rate by 50. Combined with this, it means he's gonna have almost 100% crit. So I can almost assure a critical hit with the ultimate on the second turn. And when Momon attacks, he puts the Infernal Flames. That's another debuff. That means another buff for your team, or the chance of another buff. Then you have Entoma. or Hamuski, depending on your the speed of your characters. For example, Entoma is gonna be able to put the bleed on the enemy, the bleed debuff and the swarm debuff. That's another debuff that makes bleed undispellable and deal more damage. So she's putting double buffs, and she can make assist just like Momon, and she's also obtaining uh, the possible buffs that the strategy of this boss gives. And with this tank, the robo version of Hamuske, you're using it to put high tier damage boost on your characters, on your team, and high tier defense down on your enemies. So you're lowering the enemy's defense. Uh, when this character also uses a second skill on the boss, he's gonna throw back the turn meter of the character, and he's gonna be able to put the stun. Yeah, it puts stun there, and here is putting high tier defense down, and with the basic attack is also putting crit down. So you're putting two more debuffs on the enemy. That means two more buffs or possible buffs on your team. So that is what I recommend you to use. Uh, those are the three main themes I will use. And yeah, normally I just show you the combat and the preparation, and that's it. But yeah, this time someone requested it, so here it is. Now enjoy the combat.
さすが